Have you ever needed to urinate so much that it becomes unbearably uncomfortable and it feels like your bladder's about to burst under the immense strain? Oh, fucking finally! But doesn't it feel practically euphoric when you do get to go? This is one of the foundations of Western music. No, I don't mean pissing. I mean a continuous ebb and flow of tension and resolution. There are various ways you can implement tension and resolution in songs, such as cadences, modulation, irregular time signatures, and chromaticism! So what is chromaticism exactly? Despite sounding like some sort of rare bone disease...
Here, nurse! What the fuck's wrong with me then, you old trout?
Oh, well, I'm afraid to say you've been struck down with chromaticism, miss.
Oh, God! How long have I got left to live?
Oh, not long, don't worry.
Chromaticism actually refers to musical structures which are derived from the chromatic scale. So basically, playing notes which don't belong to the key that you're playing in. However, to play chromatically doesn't mean that you just randomly play bum notes. The notes have to be ascending or descending in semitone intervals. The opposite of chromaticism is diatonicism, where you strictly stick to the notes of a given key. Here are some popular examples of songs which make heavy use of chromatic movement. These are all cool songs and whatnot, but how can you use chromatics to enhance your guitar playing? The most practical use of chromatics is to use them to fill in the gaps between scale tones. Let's take the humble pentatonic scale for example. Now, we all learn about the flat fifth that could be added to give you that classic blues sound. But because we're mad lads, let's take it a step further and fill in all of the other notes in between the scale tones. Obviously, this sounds pretty awful if you just play the scale mindlessly up and down like this, but if you take your usual blues licks and start experimenting with adding in some of these chromaticisms, you can get some pretty cool results. Bear in mind that you don't want to hang on these notes for too long, or you'll sound like a right pleb. Ooh. Remember, tension and resolution. This gets even more interesting when you apply the same concept to arpeggios. Let's take a minor seventh arpeggio. And now let's fill in all the gaps with chromatics. And now a major arpeggio. And now a diminished arpeggio. An awesome example of applying this practically is Synyster Gates' solo in the Avenged Sevenfold song, Backcountry. At the end of the main solo, before the duet, Gates outlines the underlying chords with a series of fast chromatic patterns connecting the root and the third. We start on D minor, then we move to E minor 7 flat 5, then to F, and then ending with a little harmonic minor lick. As well as using chromatics to travel between scale tones, You can also use them more discreetly to make your phrases more colourful. It's kinda hard to find some good examples of this in rock and metal music, so we're gonna have to get cultured and look into some classical.
1945 with a little Rice Krispies.
I'm going to play you a short 10-bar extract from Mozart's Clarinet Concerto in A. 3 of these bars contain outside notes that don't belong in the key, and I want you to identify which 3 bars these are. If your answer was bars 2, 6 and 9, then bloody good show, old chap. Good job.
Fantastic.
Nice. Well done, mate. The most interesting part of this example is bar 2. So let's have a quick look at what's going on, shall we? Mr. Amadeus is outlining a B minor harmony. But instead of just playing the chord tone straight, he's anticipating each note of the chord with a chromatic passing tone, giving a much more colourful sound. Without these chromaticisms, the phrase would sound something like this. Nowhere near as cool, right? This is a pretty cheeky device you can use to make your phrases sound instantly more classical, if that's the sort of thing you want to go for. We then have an ascending chromatic run up to the F sharp before resolving back down to the A in the next bar. This is something that I like to do quite often, where I have a target note that I need to reach, but I'm not exactly sure how to travel to it. So when in doubt, chromaticism... I know this has probably all been quite a lot to take in, but the cool thing about chromatics is that you actually have quite a lot of freedom when it comes to implementing them. I quite often play around with incorporating them into different patterns and licks to try and find the ones which sound best to my ear. So to round things off, I've come up with a short solo showcasing all of the ideas that we've covered in this lesson. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope this lesson was helpful. Be sure to subscribe for future lessons and regular noodly shenanigans.